Hi guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a 30-minute full body stretch for flexibility and mobility. So let's start off in our easy pose and just warm up our neck. So we're just going to the side with our neck. Stomach is in, shoulders are back, and you have a nice straight back. And now let's take it diagonally. And now down to center. Let's just bring the head up and we'll take it to the other side now. So to the side, shoulders back, nice straight back, stomach is in. And let's take it diagonally. And now to center. Good, and let's bring it up, and we're just gonna switch the feet now, and we're going to repeat that one more time. So taking the neck to the side again. And let's take it diagonally now. And just trying to create a nice motion with our breaths here. And let's take it down to center. And let's bring it up. And we're just gonna go to the other side. And once again, let's take it diagonally. And now down to center and hold. And let's bring it back up. And we're just going to take one hand on the opposite knee and just looking back, creating a nice twist, making sure we're looking over our shoulder and our back is straight here. Good, just keep holding for a little bit longer. Nice deep breathing here. And let's release it, and other side, guys. Once again, nice straight back, looking over that shoulder. And nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Creating flexibility in our spine. And let's release, and we'll switch out the feet again, and we'll repeat that one more time. So hand on the knee, looking over that shoulder, nice straight back, and deep breaths here. And let's release and take it to the other side. Straight back, looking over that shoulder, twisting as much as we can here. Good, and hold. And let's come back to center, releasing, and we'll take a nice stretch to the side, stretching out that side body. Now you have a choice. You can look down, straight ahead, or up to your arm, but making sure that we have a nice straight line in our body so we're not arching or slouching. And let's release and come to the other side. And once again, let's just hold here. Deep breaths going. Breathe into that side. And let's release, and we'll come back up and we'll switch the feet once again, and let's repeat that side body stretch. So nice big arm and big stretch to the side, looking wherever you want, making sure that our arm is not too bent or super stretched. It's just something in between. And hold. And let's release, and we'll take it to the other side. Nice big stretch, stretching, elongating that side body. And let's also release here, coming up. And all we're going to do is come forward in this easy pose. So stretching out those arms in front and just stretching out that lower back and the hip. And now we're going to take that stretch towards one knee, so diagonally. Same thing, stretching out those arms and just going down. You're going to feel this more in your hip now. It's a really great, gentle and easy stretch to create flexibility and mobility in the hips, especially if you're a beginner. And let's just slowly come up, and we're going to go to the other side. Same thing, stretching out those arms and just holding down. And let's just come back to center for a quick moment before we come up slowly. And we're just going to switch out the feet once more. And once again, we're going to go down to center and just hold, stretching out those arms and the hands. Deep breaths into the hips and the lower back. And now let's just take it to one side, doesn't matter which one. And once again, just holding. And depending on which foot you're doing, you're gonna feel this differently in your hip. So if you feel a little bit more stretch this time on this side or the other side, that's totally normal. It's just because we switched out our feet. And now we're gonna take it to the other side. Deep breaths here. And now let's just come back to center for just a quick moment before we come all the way up. And slowly up. Awesome. Let's just stretch one leg out to the side, bending the other one, keeping it close to our inner thigh. And we're just going to go down, forward to the center of our mat. And just stretching out this hip and the groin. And don't forget those deep breaths, guys. Breathe through these positions. Amazing, guys. Let's just slowly come up, and we're gonna take a nice side body stretch. So going towards the leg and trying to catch our foot with our hand. Flexing the foot is going to make it a little bit easier, but if you feel like you can't even get there, try pulsing it out. Just reach, reach, reach for the foot. And let's just hold here for a moment. And let's slowly release the arm and the body. And now we're just going to turn towards our leg. We're going to come for a nice hamstring stretch. So just lower down slowly and just go down as far as you can with your head. Once again, if you want to take pulses here, if you can't get all the way down, please do so. And if you feel this is way too easy, you can flex your foot and that will increase the stretch more in the hamstring. And just breathe through this stretch. Especially when it gets hard, just really breathe through it. And let's get ready. We're gonna come up slowly. And we're just gonna switch some things up. We're gonna come for a pigeon pose. So bending that front leg and stretching the other behind. And just slowly lowering down, stretching our arms in front. If you can't get the leg at a super right angle, don't worry. This is your practice. Just go as far as you can at this moment. And just try to feel that stretch in the outer hip. This stretch is really great if you feel a lot of stiffness in your hips and you just want to relieve that kind of tension. It's also great if you want to increase some flexibility for your hip flexibility, for example for lotus. Alright guys, let's come up, and all we're going to do is we're just going to grab the leg behind, tuck it under, and we're just going to come for a nice quad stretch. So you can lean back like I'm doing, or you can go all the way down with your body, whatever feels good for you in this moment. And just feel that stretch in your quad. If you've been sitting all day or you just finished a really hard leg workout, this is also really good to just release that tension. Awesome guys, let's just come back and we're gonna come up, bring that back leg up and around, stacking our knees on top of each other and just coming to our cow face. Just wiggle around till you find that sweet spot, and we'll come down with our head just to increase the stretch in our outer hip. Awesome guys, just keep breathing. And don't worry if you feel you just can't stack those knees on top of each other. Once again, take the stretch as you can and just try your best here. And let's just lift our head. We're just gonna kind of tuck ourselves in a little bit more, tucking the knees in and the legs. We're just gonna make a flat foot, and we're gonna take the opposite arm over the opposite knee and just twist back. Nice straight back here, looking over that shoulder, and really deep breaths going here, massaging our internal organs. And let's slowly untwist the body, and we're just going to place our hands on the mat and twist the other way. Once again, nice straight back, looking over that shoulder and breathing deeply, increasing the flexibility in our spine here. These are really great before you really stretch your back and also after to release the tension. Awesome guys, let's untwist the body. Let's release out of this position, bring our feet together, and we'll come for a butterfly pose. We're just gonna push on our knees with our elbows and just go down with our head here. Feeling the hips and the groin stretching here. Awesome, keep holding, breathe through this. Beautiful guys, let's just slowly come up with our head, and we'll repeat that little series all on the other side. So just bending one leg in towards your inner thigh, And we're just gonna come down to the center of your mat, flexing the other foot up, almost like a really seated side lunge. Really making sure we're stretching that hamstring and the groin. Good. Keep holding. And let's release. We'll come up and we'll take a nice side body stretch. So reach that arm to the sky and over. Trying to catch your foot with your hand. Once again, don't worry if you can't do that. Just pulse it out. Keep trying. Just do your best. Feel that side body stretching. Increasing flexibility in our back and our side. And let's slowly come up. We're just going to move ourselves a little bit around and come facing forward to our leg. Slowly going down. Flexing the foot if you want to increase the stretch. And just hold here. Also making sure that you are bending from the hips and not your lumbar spine. So not creating a curve in your back, but a nice line. Let's slowly release out of this and we'll bend that front leg, straightening the other and coming to our pigeon position. So once again, you don't need to bend in a full right angle, but if you're there, perfect. If you're not, that's totally fine. And we're just gonna go down here, forehead to the ground, arms stretched in front. And just feeling this stretch in our outer hip and in the hip flexor on the other leg, creating flexibility in that hip, releasing stiffness and tension. Good. Breathe into this position and keep holding. Slowly lifting the upper body here, coming back, and we're just going to bend the front leg a little bit in and bend the one behind and just come for a nice quad stretch. So either leaning back like me, or you can go all the way down with your upper body if that feels more comfortable for you. And just hold here. Feeling that nice stretch in your quad muscle. This is really great if you've just finished a really hard leg workout. Okay guys, if you're all the way down, come up, and now come all the way up, and we'll take that leg up and around, stacking the knees on top of each other into our cow face pose and going straight away down with our head. Just holding here. Wherever you are in this position is completely fine. Just do your best. Deep breaths here. Lifting the head now, and we're just gonna make a little flat foot, and we're just gonna take that opposite elbow over the knee and looking over the shoulder. Nice twist in the spine, creating flexibility. These are really great if you want to warm up for your back bends, and also a counter stretch to just release the tension after a lot of hard back stretches. And now let's release, coming back to center, and switching the other side right away. So placing those hands on the mat and looking over the other shoulder. Making sure we're keeping those nice deep breaths. It's massaging the internal organs. Good. Keep holding. And let's come back to center. And we'll bring our feet together. And we're going to come for a butterfly pose, pushing on the knees with our elbows, and now head down. Feeling that stretch and the opening of our hips. If this feels way too intense for you, then just keep the head up. Good. Releasing the tension here. Feeling that stretch. And let's come up now. And we'll bring our knees together. And we'll come onto our knees. We're placing our butt onto our heels, so sitting on our heels, flexing the feet, and just stretching the arches of our feet here. Nice straight back, shoulders down. This stretch feels quite intense. If you need to let go sooner, please do. And now let's just come all the way down with our feet and our knees, just opening slightly and coming to our child's pose. Stretching out those arms in front or keeping the arms on the side of your body. And just take this pose, deep breaths, concentrating here and staying in the present moment. Good, keep holding. And now let's release, coming down and sliding forward into our puppy pose. So bringing that chest down to the ground and stretching the arms up in front. I have my head up, but you definitely can have your forehead down on the mat. That will make this stretch a little bit easier. Nice stretch for the shoulders and the back. And let's slide even more forward into our baby Cobra and looking up. Nice little exercise and stretch for the back to increase strength and flexibility, so you will feel it a lot there. And get ready, we're going to come into our full Cobra, pushing up, looking up, opening that chest. And let's release it slowly into our down dog. So tucking the feet under and stretching the legs. Pushing our head through our shoulders. Feet are hip width apart. If you'd like to walk this out first, please do so. Otherwise, we're going to hold here. Lengthening those legs and the hamstrings and the calf muscles. Also a great stretch for those shoulders. Alright, let's come forward into our low lunge. So hips are square, foot is tucked under behind. We can keep our hands on the ground, or you can come all the way up, hands on the knee, like I'm doing right here. And we're just trying to push that hip flexor, the hip, down to the ground. These are really great for splits. So if you're working on your splits, this is a great position to work with. Good. Deep breaths, guys. Breathe into this position. Let's release, and we're going to come into our reverse lunge, stretching that leg, trying to flex the foot, and coming down as far as we can here. Can keep the back foot flexed for more stability. And just hold here. You also can pulse it out here if at any time it feels way too intense for you. Just take this pose as you can. And we're gonna get ready to come into our pyramid pose. So just lift up, stretching both legs, still keeping them very nice and square, and just holding down. You can grab a chair or a yoga block if it's way too intense for you, you can't get all the way down. This is a great stretch for your hamstrings. Also really great if you're working on your splits. Good, keep holding. And let's lift the head now, and we'll come back down into our lunge, but this time a high lunge. Keeping that knee off of the ground, hips are square, and just holding here, feeling that nice stretch in your psoas. Good. Awesome, guys. Let's just come up, and we're gonna switch it out back into our low lunge on the other side. So you can come all the way up, or you can keep your hands on the mat, or even just have one hand on your knee and the other one on the mat, and just stretch out that hip flexor. Beautiful. Now let's just raise up a little bit, and we'll stretch that leg, coming into a reverse lunge. Stretching out that hamstring, flexing the foot. And once again, you can pulse this out. If you can't get all the way down, or you just need a little bit more of a warm up to get there, please do that. Keep holding. We're gonna come into our pyramid pose after this. Alright guys, lift the head, and we're just gonna stretch that back leg now. Hips are square, and coming down with the head, or supporting yourself on some yoga blocks or books if you can't get all the way down. Just hold here. Feel that stretch between both of your legs, stretching out those calves and the hamstrings. And let's slowly release into our high lunge. So stretching that back leg, bending the front, and just holding here, stretching out that psoas muscle. You can come down with the upper body if you feel comfortable for that. If not, then just stay up. And let's release back into our down dog, just to release the tension in our hips and our hip flexor. And we're going to slowly walk forward, sitting down onto the mat, and we'll do some seated stretches. So stretching the legs out in front, we're going to come for a forward stretch. So once again, bending from the hips and not the back, keeping a nice line in our back. And like in the reverse lunge, you can pulse this out if you can't get all the way down. Now lift the head. We're going to come onto our back, so slowly lowering down and laying down, lifting one leg, stretching the other, and coming for a hamstring stretch. So you can keep that free leg bent or stretch, it doesn't really matter. And just hold here, grabbing wherever you can. And once again, you can pulse it out. Keep that knee stretched. And let's bend the leg, opening up that hip, placing the foot on the knee, and come for our hip stretch. Almost like a laying pigeon position. And just hold here, squeezing the knee tight to the chest. let's stretch that free leg, and once again bending. We're gonna come for, I like to call, half baby pose. So just grabbing our foot wherever we can and just trying to bend the knee towards the side of our body, opening up that hip, feeling the stretch. And let's just take that knee in again, and we're going to take it to the other side of our body, coming for a nice spinal twist and holding. Head is in the opposite direction, and what's important here is to keep the shoulders on the ground. Doesn't matter what your knee is doing or how far it is. Let's release it, and coming back to center, and we're gonna switch to the other side. So grabbing that leg and just stretching out that hamstring. Really important to keep the knee straight. Try not to bend it. I know it's hard, your leg might shake, that's totally normal. Just try your best. And now bending that leg, bringing the foot onto the knee and opening up that hip, squeezing the knee close to the chest, and just feel that outer hip opening, decreasing the stiffness there. And let's release, bringing our foot into that half baby pose. So trying to bend the knee close to the side of the body, grabbing wherever you want, on your foot or your knee, and just hold. And now bringing that knee back in and bringing it around the body into our spinal twist. Head goes in the opposite direction, shoulders are on the mat, and just deep breaths here. And let's release, and we're going to come into a full happy baby pose. So either grabbing the outside of your feet or your big toes and just opening up those hips, trying to push the knees to the ground, and just holding here. And you can rock side to side if that feels great for you. Slowly come back to center, bringing the feet together, bending the knees, and we're just gonna roll up, coming back to our seated position. And we are finished for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that little routine, and I hope it helps you.